Okay, so let's go with the repetition structure. This is the for loop. So it's a word loop, no? So we have different kinds of loop. We have the for loop, the while loop, and the do while loop. Okay, so tatlo sila. So let's start with this one. So for the for loop, okay, so for, so initialization, so that is some kind of value declaration, pwede siya dito. Okay, so if the condition is true, punta siya dito. So, and then after that, it will update, it will go back here for a certain value, and then babalik siya dito. And then if that is true again, pupunta ulit siya dito. And then babalik siya dito, true hanggang sa false, so iba-bypass din yan. So initialize variable and executed only once. So pag run nito, that's so condition if true, the body of for loop is executed. So this is the body of for loop. If false, bypass. Punta na tayo dito. So updates the value of initiated values or initialized variables and again checks the condition. So ikot siya dito hanggang sa maging siya false. So ito yung flowchart niya. Okay, let's check this example. So let's copy this one. So I'll copy this one and put it here. Okay, so let's compile. And run the program. Okay, so this program will work even though you're going to use the I++ here. So ++I and I++, magkakaroon siya ng pareho lang na output. So kasi ganito yung mangyayari dito sa program na to. So we will initialize that I is equal to 1. Okay? So and then that one will be put here, and if this condition is true, so is I less than or equal to 5? That is true, of course. So it will see out I, so which is the value of 1. So 1 now will be added. So it will increment a value of 1 again. So it will become 2. So kapag nangyaring 2 ito, so it will see out 2 kasi nga ang value nito 2 less than or equal to 5 will become 2, and then we have another space. So ito yung space. And then another increment will become 3, 3 less than or equal to 5 here. So magiging 3 and so on and so forth hanggang sa maging 5 siya or 6. No? 6 is not equal less than or equal to 5 false. So it will end the program. Kaya hanggang 5 lang siya. Kung papalitan nyo to ng 5, ng 15, for example, and then let's compile. And then we'll run that one. So hanggang 15 siya. So increment hanggang 15 hanggang sa maging 16, maging false, and then end the program. Okay? So there's a modified program for this one. So ginawa ko na siya, trinay ko siya dito. So naglagay naman ako ng value ngayon. So itong value na to, kasing value na to, para mag-limit siya hanggang dun sa gusto natin. Hindi siya nagiging fixed dito sa unang program. So for example, so let's compile. I will compile this one. Okay. I have another program na ginawa ko siya dito from this program. So minodify ko siya ng konti. So naglagay ako ng variable. So enter a value. So I'll declare the value for num. So enter a value. So I will put a value for num. So I will type, for example, I want 15. Okay, so I will see out 15. If I'm going to put a value of 25, it will see out a value of up to 25. So that is up to 25. So that's a little So, ganito yung nangyari. So, try natin. Hanap naman tayo ng medyo, yan, 10. So this one, so I will enter a value. So I will put that value, so 10, no? Initialization, we have a value for I, which is equal to 1. So that I will go here. So that is 1 less than or equal to the value we entered. So for example, 10. So this one will become 10. So 1 is less than or equal to 10, 1. So print niya to. Space bar plus 1. So 2 less than or equal to 10, 2. 3, and so on and so forth hanggang maabot niya yung 11. So magiging 11 siya. So less than or equal to the value of 10, that is false, and that program will end here. So when we check for the value of I plus plus and plus plus I, so plus plus I will increment the value of I, okay? And then return the incremented value. Okay, so for I plus plus and plus plus I, so the plus plus I will increment the value of I and then return the incremented value. So gagamitin niya yung ano, so it will increment first. So will become 2 here kasi nga i-increment niya muna yung value ng I with 1. So magiging siyang 2. And then i-return niya yung value using that incremented value. So kaya yung J natin is 2. So for I plus plus, no, will increment a value of I. So increment natin, so that is 2. So magiging siyang 2. But return the original value that I held before being incremented. So yung J natin ngayon, so it will return to the value of I. So that is J is equal to 1. So let's try putting a text naman. So I will copy this one. So display a text 5 times. Okay. So create a new program, paste this one. So I will put 4 and then 4 text. Okay. So ganito naman yung mangyayari. Hindi naman numbers din yung pwede nating i-print para magulit-ulit siya. Pwede rin tayong mag-print ng formula, ng text. No? So this one is text. So naglo-loop siya. So eto, so we have 1. So pupunta siya dito. 1 is less than or equal to 5. That is true. See out. Okay? So our I now will have an incremented value of 2. So 2 less than or equal to 5. See out. And so on and so forth. So let's run. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I will modify this program and I will type C out. So enter a value, for example. Okay. And of course, that value should have none. And I want that value to be put to my num variable. Okay. So that num, pwede naman natin palitan yan. We can use X, no? But if you're going to change that one, you need to change this one. Okay? So okay lang na hindi mangyari yan. And then this 5, papalitan ko siya ng X. Okay? So let's check the program. So declared value of X, we enter a value for X. So papasok siya dito. And then we will initiate that I is equal to 1. So that is 1. So 1 is less than to or equal to the value na in-enter natin. And then see out kung true. Okay? So increment, true, increment, and so on and so forth. So I will compile again this one and run. So I will enter a value. For example, I want, say 12. So 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? So pwede ko rin gamitin yung I++ dito. Kasi depende din sa programmer yan eh. Kasi hindi naman tayo gumagamit ng ibang variable na nag-increment like I should be equal to J or that. Like. So for example, I want 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to compile, you put 8. So I will have 8 values. That's the same output. Okay? So we enter a value, for example, 8. So 8. We initialize I 1. So 1 is less than or equal to 8. C out. Plus 1. So I is equal to 2, less than or equal to 8. C out, and so on and so forth. And then it will return a value of 0. So that will end our program. Okay. So let's go here naman. Okay, let's check find the sum of first and natural numbers. So let's copy this code and paste it here. Okay, so we declared the value here. There are two variables. The first one is the num, the second one is the sum. And we put the value of sum is equal to 0. Okay, so I will compile this one. So I will name this one for add. Okay, so that's for add. No? So let's run this program. So for example, I will input 12. Alitan natin ng konti. Okay. So para medyo ano naman siya. Okay, so we input a value of number 3 here. So 3. So we will go with the initialization. Our count is equal to 1. So that is 1. So 1 is less than or equal to the num. So that is true. So my sum is equal to 0. Right? Nag-start siya dito. Plus yung value ng count natin. So it will become 1. So my sum value now is equal to 1. But my count value from 1, magdadagdagan siya dito. So magiging siyang 2. So 2 is less than or equal to 3. No? So magiging siyang 2 dito. That is true also. Magiging siyang 2 dito. So 1 plus 2, magiging siyang 3. Okay? So the count value here, which is 2, magka-add ulit tayo dito. Mag-increment ng 1, magiging siyang 3. And then this one is 3 is equal less than or equal to the value of our value number here, 3. So true. So 1 plus 2, 3. 3 na yung value natin kanina. 1 plus 2, 3. So 3 plus 3, magiging siyang 6. So ito from 3, magiging siyang 4. So false, punta na siya dito. So the sum now is equal to kung ano yung nakuha natin dito. So yun yung final, that is 6. Kasi 3 plus 3, so 6. Ito yung lumabas. Okay? So ulitin natin. So let's run the program with the higher values. So let me run a notepad para alam natin. Okay. So nag-input ako ng value ng 7. So papasok siya dito. So my num is equal to 7. Okay? Yung count ko dito is equal to 1 pa rin. And yung sum ko will become initial 0. Ito yung unang run. So that's the first run. So din natin dito. So first run. Okay? So nag-input ako ng value ng 7. Nag-initialize ako ng value ng count na 1. So kailangan gusto ko kasi mag-start siya ng 1. Pwedeng 2, pwedeng ano. So depende dun sa program. Yung 1 na to, mapupunta siya dito. Kasi nga, 1 ito is less than or equal to 7. So 1 is less than or equal to 7. So from 0, which is the value of sum, no, magiging siyang plus nung value nito. Okay. So yung sum ko ngayon plus the value of this one will become 1. So second row. So yung sum ko ngayon is equal to 1. Ngayon, yung count natin from the initial 1, so magpa-plus siya. So yung count ko ngayon magiging 2. Pero yung num ko, hindi pa rin siya magbabago kasi ito yung value natin. Ayan, that is, dikit ko na lang siya ng konti dito. Ayan. 7. So this is 2. True na naman siya. So from the third run na to, third run loop, yung sum ko ngayon is equal to 1 plus yung value ng count ko. So magiging siyang 3 and yung count ko magiging 3. Kasi mag-i-increment siya dito. Okay. So punta tayo dun sa fourth run. Ang sum ko ngayon is, dahil yung kanina, ang value ng sum ko is 3. So yung fourth run ko dun sa count ko, yung sum ko 3 plus 3, so magiging siyang 6. Ang count ko ngayon is equal to 4. Okay? So yung fifth run naman, ang sum ko is 6 plus 4, so that is 10, pero ang count ko magiging siyang 5. Ang sixth run, so okay, ang sixth run ko naman, magiging siyang 15. Sum is equal to, kasi yung sum ko kanina 10, plus yung count, magiging siyang 15. Ang count ko, magiging siyang 6. Ang seventh run, magiging siyang 21. So my sum will become 21. Okay. Yung count ko, magiging siyang 7. Okay. So yung 8th run loop, ang sum ko is 21 plus 7, that's 28. Ang count ko, magiging siyang 8. And dahil 8 na to, less than or equal to the value number, which is 7, false na siya. So hindi na siya magpo-proceed dito, pupunta na tayo dito. So let's check the value of sum. So ang sum value ko ngayon is 28. So sum is equal to 28. So ito siya. Okay, so let's check the while loop program. So this while loop is almost, pwede siya magkaroon ng the same output with the for loop. With also with the do while, no? Magkakaroon lang siya ng different way of checking the condition. Okay, so let's check this one. So here's the syntax, no, the while, and then the condition, and then if that's true, so execute this one. So if that is false, bypass, no. So it will evaluate the condition. If that is true, execute. So the condition is evaluate niya again. So because on this part of or inside this body of the loop, magkakaroon siya ng certain condition again. So magkakaroon siya ng condition. For example, increment values. So babalik tayo dito. So mag-while siya. So matapos siya na maging false ito, then mababypass na. Okay? So tignan natin itong program na to. So I will copy this code. So display number 1 to 5. So ito, pareho lang sila ng output nung kanina. Pero modify ko siya ng konti. So maglalagay ako ng another integer value na num. And then maglagay ako ng cout. So enter a value. For example, so lagyan ko siya cin. Lagyan ko ito ng num. So yan po. No. Itong 5 na to, papalitan ko siya ng value ng num. Para naman yung output natin, magkaroon siya ng iba't ibang output. Depende dun sa value na i-input natin na number. So, for example, so dahil nag-declare ako ng value ko ng I dito na fixed, which is 1. So, pwede ko naman siyang ilagay din dito, pero okay lang naman mag-declare lahat ng variable sa taas. So, while, so this is 1. So let's try to compile this one para naman makita natin. So while ex1. Okay, so let's run the program. Maglalagay ako for example 15, so mag-execute siya hanggang 15. So tingnan natin. So meron akong 1. So 1 is less than or equal to 15, execute. Tapos 1 will become 2 kasi mag-a-add siya, mag-increment siya dito. So pwede rin nating palitan 'to ng I++. So yung iba ginagamit din nila na I++. So pareho lang naman yung magiging output. So close ko muna siya dito. Okay. So 1, no, 1 pa rin siya dito. So 1, 15 less than or equal to, so this is 1 space, no? So yung 1 natin magiging 2, magiging increment. So babalik tayo dito, 2 less than 2 and so on and so forth hanggang sa umabot siya ng 15. So palitan natin. So let's try 5. So 1 is less than or equal to 5. So 1 space magiging 2. 2 is less than or equal to 5 and so on and so forth. So kapag naging 6 na 'yon, 6 is less than or equal to 5, so mag-e-end na yung program natin kasi magiging false na 'to. So mag-e-end siya dito. So that's how while loop works. So let's check our links here. So eto medyo komplikado ng konti. So it will add all the positive numbers. So pause while. Tignan natin ngayon. Halos kagaya din 'to nung for loop natin kanina, no? So nagkaroon lang siya. Ang nagbago lang is the condition on how the loop works. So nandito lang naman siya. So I will run the code. So I will enter a number. So let's start with a smaller number. 3, -5. Okay, so let's check why that program ends using the sum is 3. So naglagay ako ng 3. So pupunta ako dito. Okay. So 3 is greater than or equal to 0. Our sum will have a value of 0 first plus the 3 value na nilagay natin. So 0 plus 3 magiging siyang 3. So nag-enter ulit ako ng number, print out ulit siya. Ito yung pangalawang yun. Naglagay ako -5. Okay? So that -5, so check natin dito. -5 is greater than false. So we sum up na niya. So try natin again. So I will type 5, 4, 8, 12, 3, 65. So hindi siya matatapos kasi puro positive part laging true eh. Di ba? So let's check this one. So let's type -1. So in-add niya lahat to, 5 plus 4 plus 3. So dito. And then the final sum number is the sum. Alam niyo naman yung kagaya kanina. So isa-sum niya lahat yung lahat ng positive number natin. And then it will have a value of 438. So lahat ito 438. Okay, for the do while loop program, no, we can execute a program with the same output with the for and while. And this one has a do while. So pwede nating execute or approach natin in different ways yung looping natin. Pero magkakaroon siya ng parehong output. So tignan natin to. So for the flowchart, so I think you're familiar with the flowchart. So gagawin niya muna, itetest yung condition. Pag true again, so gagawin niya ulit. Itetest yung condition. Pag false na, it ends. So copy natin to. This has the same output of the first two programs we had. Okay? So let's compile while. So lalagay ulit ako ng value ng num dito para naman medyo. So C out, enter the value. C. Okay? So, pero yung while ko dito, instead of 5, palitan ko siya ng, so we compile this one again. So, I'll type 12. Okay, so the same output as before from our 4, while, and this one is do while. So, paano nangyari yan? So, we enter the value. So, 12. So, pumasok siya sa value ng num. So, we will have 12. And then, yung do natin, so, isi-see out niya yung I. So, ano ba yung I natin? 1. So, 1 space, mag-increment siya, magiging 2. So, pwede rin maging I++ yan. So, compile. Okay? So, 1 increment. Inuuna ko kasi yung value dito kasi 1 siya dito. Para alam ko na magpa-plus siya. Kaysa doon sa magpa-plus muna dito. So, I will use I. So, 1 plus 1, magiging siyang 2. No? So, pag naging 2 ito, titignan natin dito. 2 is less than or equal to the given value of 12. Okay? So, that is true. So, babalik ulit tayo dito. Yung I natin is 2. So, isi-see out niya yung 2. Space. So, magiging 3. So, 3 and so on and so forth hanggang maging 12. So, check natin with a smaller value, 3. So, starts with 1. So, 1 space. Magiging siyang 2. So, 2 less than or equal to 3. True. Magiging siyang 2. Isi-see out niya yung 2. Kasi nag-increment na siya. So, 2 space. Magiging siyang 3. 3 less than or equal to 3. True. 3 space. 4. 4 less than false. 4 is less than or equal to 3. So, that's false. It will end the program. So, that's the do while command. So, let's check some other examples here. So, kamukha lang din yung output nung kanina, pero iba yung approach. So, nasa inyo kung paano siya yan. So, tignan natin to. So, this one, ang sum ko will start with 0. So, that's plus or equal to 0. So, I will have a 0. Nagkakaroon ako ng value ng sum ko dito pa rin dito is 0. Okay, so enter a number. So, let's try to compile this one. So, pause do while. Okay, so enter a number daw. So, maglalagay ako ng 5. Papasok yung 5 ko dito. So, 5 is greater than or equal to 0. So, that is true. So, babalik ako dito. So, ang sum ko ngayon is 0 plus the number. So, which is 5. So, yung sum ko dito magiging 5. So, maglalagay ulit ako ng 5. Okay, so, 5 again. So, dahil nag-input ako ng 5 dito, so that is greater than or equal to 0, babalik ako dito. Yung sum ko kanina is 5, okay? Plus the input number, so I will have another value here, 5 plus 5, magiging siyang 10, so the sum is 10. So if I'm going to type 10 here, so 10 is greater than or equal to 0, so that is true again. So babalik tayo dito, this is 10 plus 10 na in-input ko, magiging siyang 20. So if I'm going to type negative 1, the sum is 20, kasi nga matatapos na siya doon. So that's how do while works in this program. We have the same output as before, pero iba yung approach. Yeah. So in programming, you can usually apply different approach. And if you're applying with different outputs, pwede nyo naman palitan yung mga variables dito. Okay, into some familiar words, no? So add n, ganun na variable. So sometimes I will consider variables not related as long as the program works, and if I'm going to check the location and the comments kung paano yung siya minodify, ganun yung magiging output natin.